We're bringing you the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay. Some stories that we're watching this Monday, May 18. The leadership change at the Senate, as reported the past few days, has not come to pass. As of this moment, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano remains Senate President. Earlier, though, Senator Mig Zubiri and JV Ejercito said they would both like to be associated with the minority bloc, both after abstaining from the vote last week that ousted Senator Tito Soto as SP. The Senate has formally convened as an impeachment court for the trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. 23 senators, minus Pato de la Rosa, have taken their oath as senator judges. The Senate has also summoned the VP and has directed the defense and prosecution panels 10 calendar days from receipt of summons to submit their responses. Meantime, Assistant Ombudsman Miko Clavano says the Senate has received the preventive suspension order against Sergeant-at-Arms Mau Aplasca. The Upper Chamber Secretary also received a subpoena seeking CCTV footage of the May 13 shooting incident inside the Senate institution. Over the weekend, Ombudsman Boying Remulla said the Senate turned away their process server despite having prior knowledge of the orders. Remulla had slapped Aplasca with 6 months preventive suspension without pay over his discharge of a firearm during the Senate shooting last week. Aplasca earlier admitted to firing the first warning shot at NBI personnel in a Senate-adjacent structure of the GSIS building. And the Office of the Solicitor General has asked the Supreme Court to authorize the arrest of Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa. In its comment filed before the Supreme Court on Saturday, May 16, Solicitor General Darlene Berberabe branded the senator, quote-unquote, a fugitive from justice, evading lawful process. Also, the Senate Solgen urged the SC to dismiss de la Rosa's petition for a temporary restraining order, and saying, we quote, until he submits himself to lawful authorities, he should not be allowed to seek any relief from the courts. De la Rosa is, of course, the subject of an ICC arrest warrant over his alleged role in the Duterte drug war. Still on the Dutertes, over at The Hague, the Office of the Prosecutor proposed starting former President Rodrigo Duterte's trial on November 30, 2026. This date remains tentative because the defense has requested a delay to evaluate Duterte's health. The trial chamber 3 will discuss the definitive schedule during a status conference on May 27 of 2026. Duterte is accused of crimes against humanity before the International Criminal Court, or ICC. And Malacanang has announced the appointment of Kim Robert De Leon as the new Budget and Management Secretary. He takes over from acting DBM Secretary Rolando Toledo, who moves over to the GSIS Board of Trustees. De Leon is a former DBM Undersecretary and has become the youngest DBM head and the youngest Marcos cabinet member at under 40 years old. Well, joining us today is Storycon's resident political pundit, Ronald Llamas. Wala pa akong sinasabi, tumatawa na siya. I don't know what's so funny about that.
Parang yung pagkakasabi niya, parang horror story. Dahan-dahan.
Yung enunciation ba?
Di ba?
Parang horror story. Ganon. We haven't...
Parang narinig ko yan sa The Exorcist.
Okay. Dun. May soundtrack pa. 2 weeks lang ako nawala. I didn't miss much, huh? Not that much.
You missed a lot. You missed the Netflix series na Philippine version.
What is going on? Dalawang linggo lang. I was gone only 2 weeks. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot.
Didn't you enjoy the stairwell?
The coverage from international newspapers.
The coverage, di ba? Running in the stairs, di ba? Shooting the lizards in the
sa ceiling,
Sa ceiling, di
sa
ba?
kisame.
Tapos, your Senate President praying every day. Kneeling and praying. Di mo na-miss yun?
Hindi. And I was overseas where Facebook was I was in the first week I was in Uzbekistan, the second week I was in China. And in China, Facebook is of course banned. So hindi ko nakikita yung mga clips that people were posting and all the talk on social media. But when I was finally able to come back online, nagulat na lang ako na all of this happened in a week.
Not a week.
Well, in a span of a few days.
4 days.
And I saw the part of the interview by Jessica Soho of Bato de la Rosa,
Very
wherein
revealing.
inamin niya
Very
na
revealing,
tinawagan siya
Ni Alan
ni
Peter.
Senator Cayetano to convince him to resurface just for the vote. And yet, on the other hand, you have Cayetano when he first became SP, saying na this has nothing to do with impeachment. So tatanungin ko sana, how do we reconcile that? But I can see it on your face. So magkakaku ba again? Do we know if there's there's a lot of talk about another coup because people are unhappy over the current presidency.
Yes. You have a majority of one. It can happen overnight. You have a majority of one. 12-11.
Well,
For now.
13-11.
Hindi, 12-11. Wala si Bato eh. You have to be there.
You don't think he's gonna resurface just for another
Hindi
vote?
huli siya.
Nakatakas na siya once.
Hindi na siya ipapasok na.
Despite the 25,000 strong police force that John Vic promised, nasa na pala yun via LGSEC.
Hindi, pupustahan na lang. Hindi siya babalik sa Senado.
Hindi na siya babalik. Because Attorney Torion was quoted in newspaper saying as well na you never know, baka nandiyan lang siya sa tabi-tabi, right?
Sa CR ng Senate.
When was the office? Has anybody thought to check the office, his office? Yeah.
Sa siya ng wig.
You never know. But that's what Attorney Torion is saying, right? Hindi mo alam, baka nandiyan lang sa tabi-tabi. Might resurface. For a vote as important as this. Hindi ba?
So maghahabulan sila uli. Maghahabulan sila uli.
Well, it depends. It depends what the Supreme Court has decided on the TRO case, right? So at this point, nag-respond yung Solgen. We're now waiting to hear from
Wala kasing legal
the side.
impediment eh. to
Walang
arrest
legal
him.
impediment.
Dahil-
Because of RA
Dahil
9851.
tsaka walang TRO. Yung ginagawa lang ng gobyerno is a courtesy to the Supreme Court. It's not a legal impediment.
Technically. So
Yeah.
they don't really need the Supreme Court decision.
Yes. At saka lampas na yung 72 hours eh.
Oh.
Yung hiningi ng Supreme Court. Lampas na yun eh.
Yung hiningi ng
Oo.
ng kampo ni Senator De La Rosa.
Hindi, yung hiningi ng Supreme Court to answer.
And by the way, these live pictures we're showing are, of course, from the Senate. So what happened earlier today was they convened for a regular session. They elected a new Senate secretary because the previous one, si Mark Mendoza, resigned. Although he was, I believe he's still being a little bit coy about why. So they elected a new Senate secretary. And then Senate President Cayetano officially convened the impeachment court. They suspended for a while to don their judges' robes. And then the session got suspended again all of a sudden. And we're not entirely clear why, because they once again took off their robes. And mukhang may pinag-uusapan in the background. So these are live pictures from the Senate.
Tsaka nagsabi na si JB at tsaka si Mig Subiri na they will be joining the minority. Dati kasi technically hindi sila member ng minority dahil nag-abstain sila.
And you know, they were criticized for fence-sitting, which is totoo nga naman. I mean, just make a stand. Either way, right? Make a decision. Bakit? Sorry. I mean, they can't see you on screen, but you're giggling again.
Parang lumalabas ka naman ng kuweba. Welcome back.
Bakit? Bakit? Why is that funny? Bakit nakakatawa?
Dahil iniisip mo na yung ating mga senators.
They will make a stand.
Kanya nga,
They're okay to make a principled stand.
they believe in something higher.
The worst kind of, the problem with fence sitting is, of course, you're hedging your bets, di ba?
Exactly.
Hindi mo alam, tinatansya mo which way the political winds will go. So gusto mo, okay, let's be independent and
Pwede ka mag-negotiate ng chairmanship.
either way, which is
Chairmanship,
not
then di ka
right.
naman minority. So what else is not right?
So, ako na ba yan? I'm a bit rusty, no? Balik na nga ako sa kuweba.
Hindi mo nga alam kung ano burak.
Alam ko na now. Alam ko na now. Pero yun nga, so the two of them were criticized for being fence-sitters. And today, finally, both Mig Zubiri and JV Ejercito said they would like to stay
So okay ka na lang.
with the minority. So yung final count is 13-11.
No, 12-11. Because not
Kasi
counted
wala
si Bato.
If
you're not
alam mo,
there-
you keep counting him out, but
Hindi,
you don't know.
technical yan eh. If you're not there, you're not counted.
But he might resurface. Don't count him out just yet.
Maging 13 pag nag-surface siya. Pero for now, it's 12-11.
12-11 to
For now.
13-11.
Yun nga yung pinopropose ni Marcoleta, na kahit absent ka, you can vote through Zoom. Diba? Pero hindi pa na-aprobahan yun.
Hindi, that's not Senate procedure. For important votes like this, you have to be present. Sinabi na yan sa atin dati pa.
Pero may proposal siya.
To allow him to vote by Zoom.
Yes.
That's not fair. Because you're gonna change the rules just for one person. Parang walang pagtutunguhan tong araw na to. No? We're not gonna get anywhere today.
My co-host talking about fairness.
No, I'm just saying. You want to change the rules.
Welcome back.
Only now.
Where did you go?
To a place where there are no impeachments and everything is peaceful. Alam mo, nung umalis ako, the crisis was still the oil crisis. And I just want to remind everybody that there is still an oil crisis, by the way. Wala pa rin. There's a
Sarado
very...
pa rin yung state of Hormuz.
Sarado pa rin. There's a very tentative ceasefire. We don't know what came off the Donald Trump-Xi Jinping summit last week. And I was there in China when they were
Sabi
there.
ni Xi Jinping, end the war.
Well, they're still negotiating, pero it's a very tentative hold, the ceasefire. So remind ko lang that meron pa ring oil crisis, hindi pa yun resolved. And here comes another crisis, political naman. Pero teka lang, let's bring in Philippine Star Editor-in-Chief, Ami Pamintuan, who's ready now. Hi, Ami.
Hi, Ami.
Hi, Reg. Hi, Ronald. Reg, welcome back to the circus. I
know.
You missed yung excitement.
I don't know what happened. I mean, 2 linggo lang ako
Ongoing pa
nawala.
ngayon yung excitement. Akala ko may mangyayari.
Ang payat-payat
Pero
niyo, Ami.
Mukhang pwede pa rin mangyari, no?
Ami.
Pwede pa rin
Ami,
mangyari.
payat-payat, 4 kilos na nawala. Oh.
Ami, ikaw na lang nga daw.
Oo nga.
Yeah, because I was averaging 12,000 steps abroad. Ami, ikaw na lang daw kakasapin ni Ronald. There's no point talking to me daw kasi...
She's talking about fairness. It's not fair, sabi daw niya.
and equality and making a principled stand.
Hindi pa siya nakakaalis sa multiverse niya.
No, I'm just saying.
Makikichismis nga ako, Ronald. Ayan,
May kuba,
nakumpisa na
wala.
yung cabinet. Nagdahan-dahang ribang.
Di ba? Dati pa natin sinasabi yung revamp na yan. Ngayon, increments, di ba?
Ayan, natuloy si Budget Secretary. Ang matulog pa ngayon, si John Vic, although dinideny, no, ng Malacanang.
Medyo hindi
Ano bang
ganun
balita
kakwan
ron?
yun. Medyo buy one, take three yan.
Buy one, take three. Break ko lang din.
Buy one, take three.
So I was just saying that may oil crisis pa, di ba? So we'll just break the news that the peso closed at another historic low, sitting at 61.75 to the US dollar.
Oh, dear.
61.75 closed today, a
So-
new historic low.
So kahit hindi nagpuputukan, gumuguho pa rin yung ating economy.
Yun naman sinasabi ko, natabunan na because of all this circus, because of all this noise in politics, natabunan na yung importanteng story that there is still an oil crisis, that the economy is still, in trouble. And ito na nga, the peso has closed at another historic low, 61.75. We have hit historic lows at least 12 times this year, if I'm not mistaken. Kasi yung last count ko was 8 times in March alone, plus ito, plus yung earlier in the year. So at least 12 times, which is crazy, by the way.
Sorry, close din yung ating political crisis.
So is it a race to the bottom? Yun ba yun?
Exactly.
We're racing to the bottom?
Di ba? Diba?
So,
Apart from that, namumroblema tayo sa kuryente, ha? Yung mga rotating brownouts, blackouts. Inaabot daw ng 3 hours.
yes.
Nagrereklamo na, hindi lang mga negosyante, pati mga, everybody's complaining, no? Outside, dito sa Metro Manila, hindi natin masyado nararamdaman But in the outside Manila, marami na nagrereklamo.
Eh, kahapon, Ami, nagsalita ako sa isang seminar sa Santa Rosa. Rotating talaga yung brownout. Doon. Lapit lang nun, sa Manila. Lapit lang, Santa Rosa.
Kaya
Laguna.
nga.
And there was a...
Mukhang sinasave nila yung dahil ang gulo-gulo na nga natin dito. Madadagdag pa yung
Pero for a
yung
while kasi, Ami, nalilibang ang mga Pilipino pag meron telenovela Di ba?
How many more times are we gonna go down this path?
Sila sa spectacle
yung distraction, yung
Exactly. No? Pero lilipas yan pag nakaramdam ka ng gutom
Hindi naman nawala yung gutom.
Kapag nakaramdam ka na init,
Yung gutom is
mainit
always
na,
there.
wala pang kuryente. Walang
so-
ventilador. Paano ba naman?
Ang pinakamalaking,
kaya?
ang pinakamalaking
Mga tao.
Yung 95-year-old ko na nanay, nag-brown out sa bahay namin sa Project 7. Tapos naubos yung kwan dahil matagal.
Yung oxygen?
Naubos yung kwan niya. Hindi, naubos yung electric, yung rechargeable
the
electric
batteries.
fan. Oo.
Okay.
Eh di syempre ang init for an 95-year-old, di ba?
Yeah.
Oh, grabe yun, no?
Kaya
dapat
nga.
laging naka-recharge yung iyong mga kwan, EV.
Pasensya.
Oo. Yung rechargeable mo, lagi naka-charge.
Naka-recharge yung
Ang
pasensya.
problema sa mga rechargeable, madali rin masira. Di ba? Hindi siya matagal Oo. So, bibili ka kagad ng bago.
Alam mo, that's the biggest consequence of this political crisis, if I can call it that. Okay, if you don't want to use the word crisis, this political chaos is that
Emergency.
natatabunan yung importanteng economic issues. Hindi pa nga naayos yung oil crisis. Hindi pa naayos. Hindi ko alam kung nabigay na lahat ng ayuda, by the way. When I left,
Wala na. Nobody's talking about
nobody's
ayuda
talking
anymore.
about it. Exactly. And
Pero,
naghihirap pa rin yung transport sector.
Pero katulad ng pinag-usapan natin dati, itong mga GOCC, katulad ng SSS, nagle-level up sila. Nagbigay sila ng moratorium sa payment ng loans until lumipas itong crisis. Gumagawa sila ng package ng new loans, etc. So, dahil ang dami nilang pera ay hindi naman sila pwedeng utusan ng gobyerno.
Which
Dapat
they did. Tapos illegal daw pala.
Dapat gagawin nila moto proprio. Diba? Ang PhilHealth has 1.5, 1.4 trillion.
In reserves.
So part niyan baka pwede mong gamitin katulad ng SSS, katulad ng GSIS, di ba? So hindi lang gobyerno yung pwedeng tumulong dito Yung the whole of government approach pwedeng gamitin dito. Habang may crisis.
Which everybody seems
Anong
to have
crisis?
forgotten
Walang
about.
crisis.
Sa Senate.
Ano ba?
Sa Senate meron.
And in the
Mukhang malulungkot ang mukha nila, Ronald. Bakit ganun mukha nila?
Ang problema
Mukhang malulungkot sila.
Ang problema kasi sa Senate, you are left with imperfect choices. You are left with lesser evil choices. Alam mo naman, lesser evil para sa mga atinista is still evil.
Evil pa rin yun.
Di ba? So, alam mo ba?
hindi lang para sa Atenista.
Don't be
For
evil.
everybody. Lesser evil is still evil.
Pinatulan.
Yeah.
Kainis.
Teka lang. These are still live pictures, by the way, just to recap. We don't know yet what's going on at the Senate. At one point, they already donned their senator judges' robes. Tapos tinanggal ulit, and they suspended session once again. Although we kept the cameras rolling, as you can see, it seems like there's some sort of a discussion going on.
Dahil very thin yung majority either way, tatanggapin mo ba para lumaki yung majority mo or para magkaroon ka ng majority, tatanggapin mo ba yung may mga plunder cases? Tatanggapin mo ba yung may mga kaso sa ICC?
You can't. I mean, if you take out every person,
mo na lang sila,
if
para
you-
mabawasan dyan ng mga
If you take out every person who has a pending case, wala nang quorum.
Hindi naman.
Hindi na.
Meron kang
Hindi, dalawa lang yun. Dalawa o tatlo lang yun.
Meron kang apat na may
Dalawa lang.
plunder case.
Five.
Meron kang
There are
apat.
2 graft and corruption / plunder cases.
May apat ka na may plunder case.
There are
May
2
dalawa
crimes
na
against humanity
ICC.
cases.
Oo.
There are 2 market manipulation cases. Insider trading, market manipulation.
Yung
So,
solar
ilan
pa.
na yun?
Hindi
Yung
naman
solar
yun.
pa.
Available
6.
naman yun.
May
Yung solar pa.
Well,
Yung anak.
Available yun eh.
related yun. So,
Oo.
ika-count mo yun, 7.
Tapos meron kang butterfly. napalipat-lipat, nagalit na yung nilipatan niya. Ayaw na siya tanggapin.
Help me understand.
Hindi lang assumption.
Hindi, yung problema lang yung yung non-bailable eh. Kasi hindi na sila makakapunta diyan para bumoto. So dalawa lang yon yung plunder.
Yung non-bailable, yes.
Dalawa.
Well,
oo,
non-bailable yung
yun.
ICC
Saka yung wanted
cases.
ng ICC. Wala na naman siya dyan.
That's
Kaya
4.
hindi na siya counted.
That's 4 already.
Pero, Kompe,
Yeah.
ongoing pa yan eh. Pwede pang sampahan ng mga non-bailable cases.
Yan na nga. Malversation kasi madaling isang pa yun.
So
Yes.
help me
It's non-bailable.
understand yung calculation ni Senator Legarda here. Is it true that she was expecting to become SP?
Now,
Yun yung calculation niya.
Chismis.
And then it was snatched
Yeah,
from
the
her.
first woman Senate President.
And then it was just snatched from her. Is that right?
Chismis
By-
lang naman. Unconfirmed, Marites.
Unconfirmed.
Marites story.
Oh, that's what...
Pero, masama loob nila Tito Sen tsaka ni Ping dahil kasama siya sa mga meetings hanggang last minute.
Hindi daw nagpaalam sa kanila.
nagulat si Tito Sen.
Kaya, para sa kanila talagang betrayal.
That was a betrayal. Correct.
Kasi normally, ewan ko kung totoo yun, Ronald, na if you're going to go to the other side, magpapaalam ka as a matter of courtesy, kasi mangyayari naman dun sa mga dati mong kakampi.
Yes.
Yun lang naman yung
Tsaka-
himutok down
tsaka
nila
nandun
Tito
ka-
Sen.
nandun ka sa
Hindi
mga
man lang daw sila sinabihan.
Tsaka nandun ka sa mga pulong eh. Diba? Nandun ka sa mga pulong para
That
mapigilan.
are sensitive
Yung
discussions
coup. Oo.
behind the scenes.
Actually, kahit si Alan Peter, medyo... Usually kasi pag papaltan mo yung Senate President, binibigyan mo siya ng graceful exit. Mag-resign na lang siya.
Sasabihan mo siya.
In the case ni Tito Soto,
That was
hindi.
an outright coup.
Yeah, talagang sinorpresa siya.
Blatant in your face.
Oo, si Cheese kasi
Ousted.
pinaresign eh. Diba? Parang face saving ng konti.
Hindi, alam mo kung bakit? Kasi ipapasok nila nga si Bato de la Rosa.
Kaya,
Ayaw nilang ma-alert yung mga tao na susumpot si Senator Bato. Kasi nga, meron ng chismis na arestuhin.
I wonder,
Kaya gano'n na nangyari dyan sa kuna yan.
I wonder if yung counts, ayan na.
Ayan na,
we're
bumalik
seeing
na.
the mace being brought back to the rostrum at the Senate.
Yeah.
Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva is at the podium about to speak.
Senator Lauren Legarda, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Culture and Arts. So moved, Mr. President.
If there's no objection, motion is approved.
Senator Pia Cayetano, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Ways and Means. So moved.
There's no objection, motion is approved.
Senator Christopher Bongo, chairperson of the Committee on Health and Demography. Vice Senator Risa Hontiveros. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Any objection? No objection, motion is approved.
Mr. President, Senator Joel Villanueva as chairperson of the Committee on Higher Technical and Vocational Education. Vice Senator Lauren Legarda. So moved, Mr. President.
There's no objection, the motion is approved. Thank you very much, Senator Legarda.
Senator Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada, chairperson of the Committee on National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation. Vice Senator Lauren Legarda. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? If none, the motion is approved.
Senator Christopher Bongo, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Sports. So moved, Mr. President.
Any objection? No objection, the motion is approved. Pang health na, pang sports pa.
Senator Pia Cayetano, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation, and Futures Thinking. I so move, Mr. President.
If there is no objection, the motion is approved.
Senator Lauren Legarda, as chairperson of the Committee on Basic Education. Vice Senator Bam Aquino. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Dante Marcoleta, as chairperson of the Committee on Public Services. Vice Senator Rafi Tulfo. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Public Information and Mass Media. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? If none, the motion is approved.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Cultural Communities and Muslim Affairs. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada, as chairperson of the Committee on Games and Amusement. Vice Senator Erwin Tulfo. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Pia Cayetano, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Energy. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? If there's none, the motion is approved.
May I ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
Yes. Before the suspension, may I ask the chairpersons if they replaced another senator, if they can coordinate if there is any pending sponsorship that was already being discussed before the change in leadership. We actually have a weekly agenda, and as much as we can pursue the original committee report and sponsorship, the leadership will greatly appreciate that. No? Session suspended for a minute.
Okay, there you have it. The Senate session has been suspended once again. Very strange that they came back as senators and not as senator judges, and instead confirmed the committee chairmanships for the committees. It sounds like most of them retained, like katulad nila Pia Cayetano retaining Ways and Means, but there were some changes as well. I think Lisa Ontiveros was replaced by Bongo for Health, if I remember correctly.
Yung mga lumipat sa majority ni Alan Peter, na-retain. Yung mga hindi sumama,
Sino ng blue ribbon?
Sila yung natanggalan,
Hindi
no?
yata nakuha yung blue ribbon.
Sila yung
wala akong narinig.
The expectation, wala tayong narinig for Blue Ribbon, but the expectation is that it'll be Senator Marcoleta, of course. And ang other rumor is that Senator Bam Aquino will lose the Education Committee.
Basic education.
In fact, he posted about it already over the weekend. And it might
mapupunta kay Robin Hood Padilla.
Senator Padilla, correct. But the question still
Education, ha?
still a big question.
Education kay Robin Hood.
Parang may nais kang ipahiwatig.
Oo nga
Ami.
eh. Parang,
Parang meron, di ba?
Humingiti lang ako, ha?
Style ni Ronald yan, Ali. Don't be like him. But still very strange why they came back as senators, and walang explanation as to why they took off their robes, because before this suspension, 2 suspensions ago, they were already convening as an impeachment court. Sinuot na yung robes, and there was every expectation that they will start the trial proper, but they suspended and came back as senators. Not sure what's
Pero
going
hindi
on.
ko alam kung anong kasunod nun eh. Kasi they have already ordered summonses eh.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Diba? They are sending out summonses, unang-una kay Vice President. Baka ganun lang ang mangyayari ngayon sa impeachment court.
No, before they suspended, SP Cayetano took his oath, and they were supposed to don the robes, and then each of the senator judges take their oaths. Yun yung kulang.
Yeah.
They haven't taken their oaths. Si SP Cayetano pa lang yung nag-oath taking as a senator judge at this point. Again, we're trying to find out from our reporters there if there's something that's going on. But what happened to your fearless forecast, Ronald?
It's still a forecast.
Still a
Not as fearless.
Not as
still
fearless.
It's still a forecast.
It's a fearful forecast.
A majority of one can change overnight.
Oo nga eh.
So,
Oo nga, masyadong tenuous yung no?
the
Kaya
hold is very
walang
tenuous.
masayang mukha dyan sa nakikita ko eh.
They all look very sad and serious, huh? Pati si APC, si Senator Cayetano.
Look at this senators in the majority. Do you think they will stick it out if the scenario changes for their political calculation?
How would the scenario change? Sige nga. Because at the moment...
If somebody tells them, oh, we have a lot of skeletons in your closet. So,
You mean Malacanang?
walang aamin dahil co-equal branches. Di ba?
walang interference. But you mean Malacanang, right? Yung Malacanang, presses the metal and says...
may kaso yung mga negosyo mo sa SEC.
Marami kang kaso.
Yung solar farm mo, ng anak mo, may...
For example lang, di ba?
Example lang. Wala namang naisip pahiwatig, di ba?
Pero for example, merong solar cases na na kinasuhan ng DOE.
Oo, example lang. Uy, susuko ka namin sa ICC.
Or yung yung...
Pag nakuha ka ng ICC, never ka na makakabalik.
Or yung market manipulation cases.
Yes. So,
Sa SEC.
most senators have skeletons in their closets. They have vulnerabilities, except a very few.
Except very few. Correct.
Kaya,
So mabilis lang yun i-exploit is what you're saying.
yes. Kaya, majority of one?
Is that
Kaya nga eh.
I don't know if ikaw wishful thinking ka lang naman yata. For all you know.
Ibig sabihin, na-appreciate mo na nagtithinking ako. Salamat. That was almost a compliment.
Almost a compliment. Almost a compliment. Don't get ahead of yourself. But,
Ano kaya ginagawa nila sa sa recess?
kaya nga eh, may pag-uusap na nangyayari.
Ayan,
Tas-
nagkikwentuhan lang eh.
Para suspicious.
Bakit ka magsususpend kung ganyan lang naman ang gagawin?
You have,
Nagchichismisan lang.
Ami, you have to pay attention to who's not in the room. Yun yung nag-uusap behind the scenes.
Parang suspicious
Oh,
si
yan na
Ami,
nga.
oh.
Yan na nga. Parang may iniintay sila eh, di ba?
Parang,
Ayan,
bro.
tingnan mo. Oh.
Bro, baliktad ka na.
Oh.
Baliktad ka na.
Yung isa, wala nang kibudo, no? Hindi na ma-under.
Hirap na rin, no? Nasa microscope.
Ayan na uli, ayan na uli.
Nasa microscope yung Senado.
Ayan na. Ano lang yan. Inulit lang yan.
Mr. President,
Either people are waving to me or saying no, so maybe we can take it up
no,
tomorrow.
Mr. President, I would gladly elect Mr. President with the indulgence of our colleagues and with the permission of the body, especially with our...
Majority Leader, we'll just do it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. President. Now, Mr. President, as I was saying a while ago, to give our new chairman of the different Senate committees time to coordinate with the committee secretaries and committee reports pending in the plenary, and at the same time for the members to have more time in reading the articles of impeachment. Mr. President, may I respectfully move that we adjourn the session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, May 19, 2026. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? There being none, the session is adjourned until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Tuesday, May 19, 2026.
Na-join na kagad, ah.
There you have it. The Senate has
Ayan,
adjourned
kaya
for
naman.
the day.
Babasahin daw nila yung articles of impeachment. Ang haba-haba kasi thousands of pages.
Correct.
Ipapabasa lang nila sa staff nila yun, tapos hingi sila ng summary. O kaya sa chat GPT.
I just have to issue a correction as well. I said the senators haven't taken their oaths. They have na pala. But still, we were expecting them to reconvene as senator judges. Kaya lang, they took off their robes and then when the session resumed, they came back as senators, not as the judges. So that's still a question mark as to what happened there. And also, just to...
Inaayos pa yata yung schedule, di ba? Inaayos pa yung schedule ng trial para daw maituloy pa rin nila yung mga iba nilang duties as legislators.
Correct. And then to recap, the new committee chairmanships, Lauren Legarda has Culture and Basic Education, Pia has Ways and Means, Sustainable Development Goals and Energy, Bongo has Health and Demography, Joel Villanueva has Higher Technical Vocational Education, Jingo Estrada has National Defense and Security, Bongo has Sports, Rodante Marcoleta has Public Services, Robin Padilla has Public Information and Mass Media, as well as Cultural Communities, and Jingo Estrada has Games and Amusement alongside National Defense and Security.
Walang blue ribbon.
Wala pang blue ribbon. Wala pang blue ribbon.
Baka walang gustong tumanggap.
It's a...
Ano yan eh, mahirap yung anong yan eh, mahirap yung committee na yan eh.
Nakita niyo ba si Cheese?
Wala pa. Earlier, before they called the session, we did see him briefly, pero he was talking to Lauren Legarda in the off-takes. Pero hindi pa natin nakita. Why? What are you implying?
Lumalabas yung pangalan niya today. Lumalabas yung pangalan niya as a possible Senate President. Pero meron siya mga bit-bit na for now, parang hindi acceptable sila. Siya plus 3.
To cross over?
Ayan. Kaya baka mahaba na naman ang araw natin, Ronald.
Anong aasahan mo? Wala ka namang ibang pagpipilian, no? Para mabuo yung majority mo. Oh, di ba? Sinong gusto mo sumama sa majority?
But it was, as you said kanina, right? Mahirap na kung marami kang skeletons in the closet, marami kang baggage, right? So even if you cross over now, sure, you're safe for now.
Yeah.
What's happening? What's preventing the other side from exploiting that weakness as well?
Of course.
Right?
That's real, di ba?
That's real. It's a real calculation.
Oo. Pero, sabi ko nga kanina, karamihan naman dyan may skeletons eh. Di ba?
At saka-
Some less than others.
Ayan, yung nagsasama-sama na yan.
Some less than others. So whoever yung lilipat, may baggage yun. Di ba? Whoever yung lilipat
Let's
dun sa 11 na minority, may baggage yun.
Let's not forget that it was Chiz who first junked the very first impeachment,
Forthwith.
na in-archive, right? So
Exactly.
again, anong
Kaya ang balita ko, yung offer niya, nalilipat siya in exchange for the Senate presidency, may mga ayaw.
Of course.
Even, kahit mapalitan si Alan Peter, yung iba ay wala sa ganung framework na anybody but Alan.
Meron ding mga anybody but Chiz.
Yes.
What are they signing is the question at the moment.
Yung chairmanship yata yan.
Yung chairmanships, yung handover ng chairmanships.
Kaya ang hirap hirap ng sitwasyon nila
Mahirap eh.
Dahil nga, Diba?
We're left with imperfect choices.
yes.
Hiro mo, 24 lang sila, ang gulo-gulo natin, ano?
Yan. Di ba?
Sa konti na nga naman. Nagkakagulo ang Pilipinas over ano?
Over.
Just 24 people. 23 na lang, nawawala na isa. Baka may balita ka, nagsumakay daw ng yate. Nag-alis go daw.
Oo.
Ano lang naman niya, Marites. Although it's highly possible, it can happen.
Anything is possible in this country.
I was wondering about that. I wondered if Senator De La Rosa was getting advice, legal advice as well, about, if he had gone and cooperated fully, wouldn't that strengthen his interim release case sa ICC? Meron naman na pagbibigyan ng interim release sa ICC. It's not automatic that you're, detained right away. But if you had cooperated fully, hindi ka flight risk, you could argue that you're not a flight risk, right? And be granted interim release. And that would also, in a way, strengthen former President Duterte's case, hindi ba? To say that, we're not afraid, we have nothing to hide, we will subject ourselves to the judicial process.
But he has already crossed the line.
Kaya nga eh. So I wonder if he was getting legal advice for both, for a number of scenarios, di ba? Of what he could do. Yung options niya in this
Hindi
case.
niya risk yun Dahil una, makita naman niya yung nangyari kay Digong. Hindi na yan makakabalik. Diba?
Don't forget, Digong fought his arrest as well.
Yes, pero very weak yung defense. Diba? Ikalawa ay marami siyang mga kasama na tetestigo laban sa kanya, like Karma, no? Like Las Cañas. They will corroborate each other, no? At others pa. So siguro alam niya, teka, maraming nandun na magte-testify against me. Siguro sa kanyang analysis, malakas yung kaso against him. Kaya talagang never niya i-risk na pumunta ron. Dahil pag nandun na siya, wala nang balikan na.
Yun ba yung assumption that malakas yung kaso sa kanya? I mean, the other side
He's the author of Tokhang.
the architect.
Siya ang
not the
architect ng Tokhang.
But
He is the
when you
architect of
talk
Tokhang.
when you talk to his defense
He
team,
never denied it.
but when you talk to his defense team,
Parang
they still stand firm na wala
parang
silang
si
kasalanan.
Digong yung nag-order, pero sino nag-implement? No? Yun yung magiging
Siya yung
kaso
chief
niya.
implementer.
Siya yung implementer.
Actually, that's one thing I've been wondering about talaga. In all honesty, sa loob-loob niya, if he truly believes if the case against him is strong or not. Because when you talk to his defense lawyers, and Bato himself, they still believe na wala siyang ginawang kasalanan, right? That there's nothing there.
Siyempre, yung sasabihin nila.
Parang Nuremberg yan Anong sabi ng mga nandun? We were just following orders.
We were just following orders.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could
Actually, yung mga ginagawa ngayon ni Senator Bato, yung mga nangyayari sa kanya ngayon, yung he is being protected by the Senate itself, it reinforces the reason for the ICC
Yeah, correct.
to step in.
Correct. I mean,
Then,
from
makikita mo, it will never, the prosecution for that kind of case in the Philippines, kahit meron tayong batas, local, it's not gonna happen.
yeah. Remember one of the reasoning when they turned down one of the interim requests of a petition by Duterte's team is that there is still an existing network here in the Philippines that would help them escape or evade accountability,
Yeah.
or a community that would protect them, essentially. Yun yung reasoning ng pre-trial
Kaya
chamber.
nga.
So this is, I guess, proving it that there are people willing to
Yeah.
help them escape, essentially.
Halimbawa, yung strongest argument against interim release ni Digong ay yung claims ng kanyang pamilya at kanyang followers na siya ay kinidnap. No? At ang kanilang strategy is to bring him home. Eh, ang interim release kasi, ang assumption yun, hindi ka tatakbo. Eh kung ang argument mo, kinidnap, hindi ka na babalik
Iuwi siya.
sa ICC. At sinabi yun ng prosecution. No? Kung
Correct.
ganito ang sinasabi nila, ba't mo bibigyan ng interim release? Diba? Yung ganun ba? Yung hindi na-realize ng mga supporters
That's what I'm saying. Oh,
napapasama yung kanilang
kaya nga eh. The case is, they're making an even bigger case for his detention, for his continued detention.
Kaya tuloy pinalitan yung abogado.
Too late. Too late.
Palit na abogado. Tagal pa ng trial, November.
Hindi, matagal lang.
November? Bakit?
Yung usual,
Bakit ang tagal?
Yung usual length ng trial sa ICC is 6 to 8
6 to 8 years.
Oh. Pero yung start ng trial, it's still in
Because
November. Yan ang minove ng ICC
Dahil
prosecutor.
marami pa silang ibang kaso eh. Marami pa silang ibang kaso. No? Ikalawa, pinaghahandaan ng husto yan. No? Because it's an international court. Yun nga pala, kinlarify nila ng mga legal luminaries. Dahil sinasabi kasi, this is foreign invasion. Dahil it is a foreign court. It may difference ang foreign court with an international court. Diba?
Yeah.
Yun yung kinukuha ng mga legal luminaries. Baka nagkakamali kayo.
Well, and again, the point is, we made it into law. We passed it into law through RA 9851. This was before the Rome Statute was ratified, right? So there was already nauna pa tayo to acknowledge that the laws of international tribunals and international courts form part of the law of the land. Okay, we have to take a very quick break right now. You're watching Storycon 1 News. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.
Welcome back. We've got the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Regina Lay. Still with me, Amy Paminton of the Philippine Star, and Ronald Llamas, our resident political heckler. Parang horror show na naman ba? I read it faster this time. I do have one big question. Ano na nangyari kay Secretary Remulla?
What do you mean?
He did not capture Zaldico. He did not capture Atong Ang. He missed Atong Ang by day, and he did not capture Bato de la Rosa. What is going on there?
Nag-issue siya ng statement ngayon lang. Di naman daw siya concerned kung siya'y matatanggal. That's in reaction to all the rumors circulating.
Lalo na,
Na siya yung susunod dito sa DBM.
Lalo na, binabanata sa ni Trillanes. Puro daw press con.
No.
He's not wrong.
Sabi naman niya.
Trillanes is not wrong.
Tapos sinagot niya si Trillanes. No.
Tawagan mo nga, kausapin natin. Well, I mean,
Ano ba yung sagot niya kay Trillanes?
ano?
Ha?
Ano?
Parang lahat naman ng tinakbuhan niya, talo siya.
Si Trillanes.
Parang non-sequitur, di ba?
That's, oo nga, it's a bit of a non-sequitur. But the point is as well, what has he delivered? Is the question. I mean, I know you're friends with him. Baka tawagan mo.
Sinabi lang niya
Tuwa siya sa'yo.
sinabi lang niya pina-ambush ako ng tatay niya, friends na kami.
You guys got friends, right? You talk a lot. So tawagan mo nga, tanungin natin what's going on. Because
Di rin niya alam what's going on.
hindi rin niya alam.
Alam mo naman tong gobyerno to, kapag tatanggalin ka, you will learn about it while you're attending a conference.
Well, I mean,
Hindi ka sasabihan. Kaya hindi rin niya alam yan.
maybe he should be more...
I think Malacanang will
Should be
need
more what?
He should-
someone. Kasi,
Should be more what?
kasi kung hindi si Secretary Remulla sisisihin, kay President Marcos babagsak yung sisi kay Bato eh. Nag-announce siya na wag aarestuhin ng NBI eh. Yun ang sinabi ni John Vic na there was a well,
Order,
hindi naman niya sinabing directly na
stand
statement
down.
ni President Marcos to the NBI wag arestuhin.
Stand down. Ang sabi, stand down. Yun ang exact words. Dahil nga,
Kaya nga, hindi
irespeto
naman niya
yung
pwede
72
ituro
hours
si Marcos.
na hiningi ng Supreme Court para sagutin yung mga
Malacanang
motions.
asked for NBI to stand down.
Stand down.
But
The President said it himself.
Kaya nung sinasabi ni Alan na nilulusob sila, sabi nila Melvin, wala nga kami dyan eh. Wala kami na. Dahil kung i-implement mo
hindi,
yung
may
warrant,
agents doon sa bridge sa GSIS
Yes,
because
pero kung-
GSIS asked for it.
ask for it. May
They were
record
in the
yun, may resibo.
GSIS wing.
Oo, sa GSIS wing yun.
Tapos yung nahuli nila na isang NBI na driver, na volunteer, may text message siya doon sa security na may kukunin siyang bag na naiwan no, nung Monday. So, may mga resibo yan eh. Nakuha. Kaya, kung mag-implement ka ng warrant, knowing na may resistance yung Senate leadership at yung security ng Senate ay under na Senate leadership, practically even the Marines, no, ay ba't ka pupunta ng 1 o 5 o 4? Diba? Why?
I mean, he was talking
Kailangan mo
about a
dyan.
25,000 strong police force, right?
Oo nga.
In the days beforehand.
Dapat mag-i-implement yan. Compelling force yan eh.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Kaya sinasabi ng NBI, Eh, ang order sa amin, stand down. Ba't namin lalabagin yung order ng presidente? Ba't namin huhulihin? Like a
Correct.
thief in the night.
Yeah.
Diba?
Correct.
Wala doon si Magalong, wala doon yung Chief PNP, wala doon yung head ng NBI. Usually, pag ganyan ka-dramatic na kaso, andun yung leadership. No?
So what this has got people saying right now is namimiss nila si General Torre.
Ayun na nga.
Dapat daw ibalik si General Torre. Because mukhang siya lang yung kayang...
Nag-issue nga ng cartoon eh. Meron siyang cartoon picture.
Mukhang siya lang yung
May
kayang
hinuhuli siya na medyo kahawig ni Senator
Yung
Bato.
mga high-profile arrests.
Nakita mo na ba yung mga memes? Matatawa ka sa mga memes. Ang dami. Ha?
Which memes?
Oh, kakatawa
memes,
talaga.
lahat,
At least
ha?
na-entertain
Alan
tayo. No?
Peter, John Vic Remulla. Ang tawag kay John Vic, John Wick.
Si John Wick. If only he were as good as John Wick, di ba? Sorry
Wick.
I'm sorry, Sec Remulla, pero so far, every
W-
single person we've talked about.
W-E-A-K.
Hindi W-I-C-K.
Ikaw naman, na-miss mo eh. Slow ka eh.
John Wick. Hindi naman Wick yun. Wick.
Wick.
John Wick.
Oo, yun na.
Hindi John Wick. But,
Ang
yeah.
dami lumalabas na ganyan, no?
Atong Ang,
Kwan.
Harry Roque,
Oo,
Saldi
si
Co, and
Pinocchio.
now Bato de la Rosa.
Si Pinocchio, Alan Peter, mahaba ilong.
May bago ng Sergeant at Arms. May pinangalan ng bago.
Correct. To replace Mark Mendoza, si M din yung
No,
start.
no, no.
Hindi,
Sergeant at
Sec Gen
Arms.
yun.
Ay, Secjan, sorry.
Yeah. Apart from the Senate Secretary, yung Sergeant at Arms, may kapalit na. Kasi tinanggap na daw yung suspension.
Ni Mau Aplaska.
May kapalit na siya.
And hindi siya agad-agad tinanggap ni SP Cayetano, by the way. Si Ombudsman
Yeah.
Remulla announced it over the weekend. Tapos kanina, when he held a press con earlier this morning, si APC,
Tinanggap na raw.
sabi niya, we'll decide on that later. So it wasn't an immediate acceptance. Same with the subpoena that the Ombudsman sent, right?
Sinagot
for the
naman nila?
CCTV. Ha?
Sinagutan nila, nabinigay na nila yung
Hindi pa
CCTV.
daw eh. Hindi pa daw.
What's taking too long?
I don't know, but at his press con earlier this morning, SP Cayetano said there was a miscommunication. Meron naman daw talagang CCTV. It's just that in some parts, madilim. It's not easily, it's not easy to decipher what's going on.
Hindi naman sila magde-decide doon, ibigay na lang nila. Di ba?
Oo nga.
Don't ask me, I'm not the Senate
Nakuha na
President.
yata. Nakuha na yata yung mga video.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what comes of that. But at this point, let's bring in our guest for today. We're talking to the former College of Law Dean of the University of St. LaSalle, Attorney Ralph Sarmiento. Good afternoon, Attorney. Welcome back to Storycon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi,
Dean.
Attorney.
Attorney, ano ba kaibahan
Hello,
na?
yeah.
Dean, ano
Good afternoon.
kaibahan ng St. LaSalle doon sa LaSalle?
Ano po? Sister school po yung DLSU
okay.
and
You don't have to
St.
listen
LaSalle,
to it.
that's Lasal Bacolod.
Meron siyang beef against LaSalle, Attorney, so don't worry about it. But I don't know, there's so many things to talk about, but let's talk about the ICC arrest warrant, the answer of the Solgen, and the Supreme Court's delicate balancing act here. What do you think?
Well, actually expected naman po yun, no? We'll see, no? Kung ano po yung reply sa camp ni Senator De La Rosa. Yung on the part of the Solicitor General, expected naman po yan because that's the expected na stand of the Philippine government. So it reflects the stand of the Philippine government.
Attorney, tanong ko lang kasi mukhang pare-pareho sinasabi ng mga abogado eh.
Opo.
Kapag humingi ka ng TRO from a court, yung petition has urgency, no? TRO yan eh.
Opo.
So pag hindi nag-issue ng TRO yung korte, ibig sabihin, you can proceed with whatever you're doing dahil nothing is restraining you.
There's no
Tama
legal
yun?
impediment.
Well, technically po, when you ask for a TRO from the court, no, from any court for that matter, you have to establish several things. Number one, that you really have a clear legal right. And then that clear legal right is at the risk of being violated. And that the injury arising from that violation is irreparable. So hindi po pwedeng mabalik yung whatever result or injury nun. No? So you will have to establish and convince the court of those three fundamental things. Now, when the court is not convinced, probably the court would like to see, the things deeper, to examine the things deeper. So normally it will not give a TRO. Pero may mga possibility po doon, may mga cases din na naglalabas po yung Supreme Court ng status quo ante order just to maintain the status quo. Pero basta wala pong hindi po naglabas ng Supreme Court ng either TRO, writ of injunction or status quo order. Ang meaning po nun is talagang wala. So in the meantime, there is the court is parang
You can go ahead.
Yeah, technically po, that means you can go ahead.
Even though, as we were saying earlier, technically, labas naman ng Supreme Court here because there's no law, correct, that says that he can't be surrendered. I'm citing specifically RA 9851 and what it says about the international courts and how we recognize their laws as part of the law of the land?
Well, clear naman po yung 9851 na may option po doon. It's either to surrender or to extradite. And on the part of the International Criminal Court, it's not a state, so wala po tayong extradition treaty. So the option is either to surrender or to maintain na we are to prosecute and try him in the Philippines. But when there's a pending investigation or prosecution before an international court, so the Philippines retains the option to surrender.
The fact that
Kaya nga sa ngayon, nothing is stopping the government from carrying out the ICC arrest warrant, ano? Kasi
Well,
wala
as
namang order from
things
the
stand
Supreme
at the
Court.
moment, yes po, that is correct. As things stand at the moment, nothing bars the Philippine government from implementing the warrant, assuming, of course, na his whereabouts or the warrant is implemented or they'll be able to get custody of his person and then to implement actions based on 9851.
the petition that was filed by Senator De La Rosa's camp was an extremely urgent motion and a prayer for a TRO. Give us a sense of how the SC, the Supreme Court, usually responds to extremely urgent motions. Like how? What's the window?
Experience po, for example, I had I had the experience of filing a petition directly with the Supreme Court and asking the Supreme Court for the issuance of a TRO, and in just a matter of I think a day or two, the Supreme Court immediately issued a TRO. It was against the COMELEC.
So it matters kapag urgent yung motion or extremely urgent yung motion, they do act within a very
Normally po, especially if you can establish that there's a talagang irreparable injury that may result, and especially when it involves possible violations or alleged violations of fundamental constitutional rights. Very sensitive po kasi yung Supreme Court natin basta may mga possible violations of constitutional rights.
Paano kapag hindi inaksyonan for 14 months? Kasi meron din ganung
technically po,
petition.
wala no TRO means no TRO. So it says basically.
Kaya nga.
It is
Hindi,
basic.
hindi nila kailangan i-reject. I mean, from the reaction itself of the court, di ba? You can surmise naman siguro kung ano yung tingin nila doon sa urgency ng petition mo. Kung 14
Kasi,
months na, wala pa rin nangyayari.
One important thing that the Supreme Court has to decide is what not to decide. And
Yeah.
when the matter is talagang, let's say, political, no, and at the same time, in this particular case, another tribunal, like in this case, the International Criminal Court, has taken jurisdiction
Yeah.
or has begun to exercise jurisdiction. Normally po, the Supreme Court will never act in haste, no? So it will act very careful out of deference then sa International Criminal Court. So they will really be careful about their action on this matter, because whatever their action is or decision is, it will also be reflecting on our standing before the international legal.
Dean, on another point, may mga groups na mga families, belonging to families ng EJK victims, ang nagpaplano mag-file ng obstruction of justice case sa ilang mga senador, including the Senate President right now. Ano ba yung feasibility nitong obstruction of justice na ito? Ano bang mga parusa dyan na posibleng kung halimbawa makonvict? Ano ba yan?
Well, obstruction of justice, it may be taken as parang pwede siyang, I think pwede siyang maging criminal case. Pwede rin siyang on the part of the court, no? Kaya lang ang problem dito, this is a gray area. Hindi talaga clear itong because this is an international warrant and gray area because there are arguments back and forth on both sides na, for example, as to whether Article 59 should be complied with, as to whether they can act solely on the basis of Republic Act number 9851. So this is a gray area. Kasi when you go after, let's say, members of the Senate for possible obstruction of justice, Ang daming issues doon eh. For example, yung let's say the authority of the Senate to give let's say protection to Senator Bato de la Rosa, is that within their authority? For example, not invoking parliamentary immunity or yung privilege from arrest under Article 6, Section 11 of the Constitution, but they're saying as an institution, they have the right to protect, the Senate has the right to protect its dignity as one of the co-equal branches and has the right, at least temporarily, parang to give protection to one of its members. So, kasi if you will go after them for obstruction of justice as a criminal case, then it will be the burden of the prosecution or the complainant to establish guilt beyond reasonable doubt. So you need to establish that the intent behind the action is really to obstruct justice.
Yeah, but attorney, isn't the law also clear on that the Senate can only provide protection when it's crimes that have penalties of below 6 years? We're not talking about such crimes here. We're talking about crimes
Well,
of
that is the
against humanity.
privilege from arrest as part of parliamentary immunity. No? Yeah, yung privilege from arrest as part of parliamentary immunity makes the senators privilege from any arrest while Congress
While
is
in session.
While in session
is
and
no more than 6 years.
yes,
no?
while in session and
Pero
only if it's a small
yung
crime.
protection naman as an institution, normally it's a matter of courtesy and as a matter of parang respect among and between the three branches of the government. So for example, in this particular case, when they're insisting, no, on the part of the Senate, they're insisting, they're questioning the official transmittal of the ICC warrant, because you need to ensure na it was transmitted officially. So parang mga ganun. So they're saying that may mga matters that should be traced out before they act on the matter. So in the meantime, sinasabi nila, we can give protection to one of our members until such time that certain matters can be traced out.
Dean,
Ano ko, abitin na ng 14
That
months.
can all be done technically, and of course it's not really a matter of law. Kasi as a matter of law, technically, the privilege from arrest is really applicable only when the crime is punishable by not more than 6 years of imprisonment.
Tungkol naman
Yung obstruction of justice, that's a presidential decree. It has 4 to 6 months penalty.
Opo.
And ang maganda dyan, pwede kang if it's a
Permanent.
public official obstructing justice, pwede kang permanently barred
Permanent
from holding public
disqualification.
office.
So may parang
Hindi ba dapat
qualified
kailangan
siya.
consistent yung government natin? If you're going to recognize, which the government has already said it does, it's recognizing the ICC proceedings dahil it allowed naman sa RA 9851, di-recognize mo rin yung arrest warrant. So dahil recognized yun ng government, hindi ba obstruction of justice yun na someone is preventing you from carrying it out?
Well, technically, pero sa akin, gray area pa din eh. Kasi, there may international standard on implementation of ICC warrants. And yung minimum na standard na yung parang benchmark natin for the standard are provided for in Article 59. Now, assuming we remain as a member state of the International Criminal Court or remaining as a state party to the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, we need to comply with the provisions of Article 59. Now, technically, since we are no longer a party, so technically, hindi na tayo required mag-comply sa standards ng Article 59. But, may opinion din kasi na although we are no longer a member, parang compliance with these minimum international standards of due process as part of the implementation pa na ICC warrant, parang is expected among member states and even on non-member states. But ang importante lang, under Article 59 are three things. Number one, you need to ensure that the person being arrested is the person subject of the warrant. Number two, that the arrest was conducted legally and in a proper manner. And number three, his rights are duly respected. Parang gano'n, no? So when we say his rights are duly respected, we're not only talking of his rights under the Constitution, we're also talking of his rights under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, to which the Philippines is a party. So parang minimum standards ito.
Dean, yung namang usapin ng protective custody. Paano nung una, nag-agree sila, hindi siya huhulihin, pero ilalagay siya sa protective custody ng Senate under the leadership of Senate President Alan Peter. Tapos eventually, nawala yung protective custody. Wala bang liability yun? Dahil...
Technically, he was provided protective custody, and as a matter of practice, pwedeng gawin ng Senate yun, as long as it's not done on a permanent basis, no. May purpose yun. For example, at that particular time, only for purposes of confirmation of the process, only for the purpose of ensuring that he is given or provided or ensured access to judicial processes, like yung mga possible remedies niya. The Senate can actually give him protective custody. But when that is done by the Senate, it should only be for such period of time and only for those particular purposes. So it cannot be in such a way na the protective order is done by the Senate in order to let's say in order to assist the member of the Senate to avoid accountability.
Nung nakalabas na si Senator Bato, sabi ni Senator Alan Peter, tapos na yung protective custody nila and he is on his own. Sabi naman ng Malacanang, dapat protective custody, responsibilidad pa rin siya ng Senado. Anong take nyo on those arguments?
Okay. Now, depende po yan, no? When we say protective custody, ito na, gray area din to, no? Kasi technically wala po tayong written rules on protective custody, no? So when you say protective custody, did they take custody, and for example, was that with the corresponding obligation that he will be turned over legally to whoever will be entitled to his custody? So yun po yung isang argument. Yung argument naman ng kabilang side naman, it's only to give him protection, during such time that he is within the compound of the Senate. Kasi yung parang dito, yung old na concept ng sanctuary. Basta nakapasok ka doon either sa embassy, so parang it's sanctuary, no? So protected ka na. Pero basta lumabas ka, then wala ka ng protection. So ganoon sa kanila. But the question doon, did he take custody of him in order for the purpose of either ensuring that he is presented to for example, to a judicial body that requires his presence. So yun po yung argument doon. So of course, yung sinasabi ng Senate, no, it's not of that nature. The protection was for the protection of Senator Bato, and we did not actually put him in our custody, na parang legal custody na he was arrested by the Senate, and then he will be transferred only to the next body or the next authority that has that should have legal custody of his person. So ang dami po kasi mga gray areas in this particular case.
Kung nahuli siya ng NBI the first time.
For the Philippines, no?
Kung nahuli na siya ng NBI the first time, wala tayong ganitong problema, no? Ano yung standing natin?
And of course, especially kung nahuli siya outside. So wala tayong
hindi ba? Wala na, hindi naman. Kasi wala naman TRO, di ba? Wala naman court order stopping it, Di ba?
Yeah, walang TRO, although of course the Office of Solgen has already issued a resounding, assessment of the situation, no?
2 days ago,
Fugitive daw siya.
Dean, 2 days ago, nagsalita si Alan Peter Cayetano. Sabi niya ay dapat isuspend din ng ombudsman si NBI Director Melvin Matibag. Dapat hindi lang yung head ng OSAA, yung security ng Senate. Ano bang weight niyan? A Senate President telling the ombudsman to suspend the head of the NBI na part ng executive. Meron bang weight yan? Can the Senate President do that?
Technically wala. It can be taken as a suggestion or recommendation. But of course, legally, of course, it has no weight, no? Technically.
Okay, we'll leave that there. Thanks so much for talking to us today. Dean Ralph Sarmiento, former Dean of
Thank you very
University of
much,
St. Lasal.
Thank you, Attorney.
Salamat, Attorney.
Ito si Ronald, nagpo-post pa on air. People are waiting
Ano?
for your fearless forecast. On air tayo, but he's posting about a bare majority.
Yan mo sinabi ko kanina, di ba?
12,
Dito ko naman unang sinabi, di ba?
13-1.
Ha?
13-1. Although you say it's 12-1. 12-1.
12-11.
12-11 pala, sorry.
12-11.
Not 13. I'm also seeing that some posts going around saying that si Bato de la Rosa was given the Committee on Justice and Human Rights. I don't know how true that is. Iko-confirm pa natin. But it's already going
Kayo naman
around.
baka may nagbibiro na naman dyan, ha?
Hindi, it seems to be a serious post. Hindi ko lang sure if
si
we need to
Robin-
verify this.
Parang si Robin Hood Padilla, yung basic education.
Education.
Si Camille pa lang ang nakakuha.
Correct. Basic education is... No, Lauren.
Lauren pala,
Legarda.
Lauren.
Culture, basic education is Lauren Legarda. Partial list pa lang kasi yung nasend sa atin ng reporter natin.
At kaya sinuspend yung session dahil
They're still discussing.
ayaw nilang pagbotohan yung kay Marcoleta.
For the blue ribbon.
Yung blue ribbon.
Oo. Nag-raise ng point yung minority about the blue ribbon.
Does he even still want it? Is the
Huh?
question. Does he still want it?
Si Marcoleta?
Oh.
Yes.
He still wants to get back to the Blue Ribbon Committee chairmanship. Para, baka, okay. Maybe if he gets back that committee, baka lumitaw na ulit si, what's his name? Or Ligoteza. O di, we could close the loop on that. Di ba?
Hope
Hindi na
springs
daw niya alam kung
eternal.
nasan eh.
Hope
Kahit
springs
siya hindi niya
eternal.
alam eh.
Yung nagdala kay
According to him, but
He's
remember,
missing.
At yung nagdala kay Gutesa, si Mike Defensor has his own problems.
he has his own problems. A lot
Hindi
of
rin niya alam.
problems. Marami rin siyang problema. Okay.
So mahaba pa araw natin, Ronald.
Hindi.
Nag-adjourn na
Let's
eh.
wait for tomorrow.
Nag-adjourn na eh.
If there will be changes tomorrow.
Ako ang Hope Springs
Oh, ayan,
Eternal or ikaw ang
fearless
Hope
forecast.
Springs
Hindi
Eternal?
ako, observer lang ako.
Ikaw ang Hope Springs
Fearless
Eternal.
forecast. At least may isang hindi nangyari ngayon. Yung kinatatakutan ng iba na baka daw hindi na mag-convene yung court. Di ba? At least nag-convene.
Convening is the easy part. I dare say it's the easy part. It's the reading of the rules, going through the procedures. That's the easy part. Wala pa tayo dun sa exciting part ng impeachment trial.
Mahigit 1 buwan pa yan bago mag-formal trial.
Exactly. This part of the process
Tapos
is very
within that 1 month, marami pang pwede mangyari.
Marami pang mangyayari.
You wish na marami pang mangyari.
1 day nga, ang dami nangyari. May impeachment ka sa House, may Senate coup ka sa Senate. No? In just 1 day.
May impeachment. I
Oo,
thought
nagbotohan. Same yun, yung coup sa Senate at saka yung impeachment at 257.
Yeah.
It happened on the
257.
same day.
that's an overwhelming majority. So they were able to get the numbers pretty fast, no? Nung una,
Yeah,
may mga questions pa kung maabot
Hindi,
ng
andun ako
1/3.
Yung ibang mga congressman, kausap ko, nagiging tentative sila. Dahil nga nabalitaan na nila yun sa Senate. Boboto pa ba sila? Pero tumaas pa.
Tumaas pala.
Oo.
Okay, we'll leave that there for now. We're gonna have to follow this saga as it unfolds. But thanks for joining us on Storycon today. I'm Pomintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lays. Kapatid, we are One News, all sides, all the time. Stay tuned for One News feed, which is coming your way shortly at 5:30 p.m. Keep it here on One News.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.